I'll talk about the drug aspect of this video during the second half. Right now, it's time to race. Up until a little while ago, I had been doing on Thursdays the City Crit race, which starts 15 minutes before this. This one here is the ZHQ anti-sandbagging race. I like this a lot better. In either case, the best I've done in these Category B races in the last 3 months is I'd last maybe into the second lap, at the beginning of the second lap, with the front group before I would get spit out. About a week or two ago, I started changing my routine that I talked about in previous videos, where I would have a specific warm-up routine and I would not ride the day before in order to give myself a little extra rest and recovery. Coming into this race, I was feeling pretty good, even though I had that constant fear that I usually do, is that I'm going to get spit out at the first lap. But now in the race, I'm feeling a little different. I'm not feeling like I'm going to die at any moment. It's hard, but I am feeling just a little more comfortable than I was last week. I'm jumping ahead to right before we enter the rollers at the end of the second lap. I'm pleasantly surprised that I made it this far with these guys at the front group, but that I figure that this is where they're going to start picking it up and I'm going to get spit out. We started off with 25 in this race, and right now I'm sitting in the top third. This gives me a little bit of a buffer since the first 2 rollers are the biggest. Looking at the graphics on the right, I see that my watts per kilogram are pretty much in par with most everyone else's. I may make it through this set of rollers. Even though I like to think of getting stronger, it may be that the group just decided not to pick it up yet, or maybe the group as a whole is a few horsepower less than other groups that I've experienced in the recent past. Still, I'm about to enter my third lap with the front group, and I'm toward the front of the front group, so maybe I'm picking up a little extra horsepower. It's been 4 or 5 months since I've been with the front group after the second lap. Jumping ahead again, this time to the middle of lap 3, we're entering the gravel section, or the cobble section, excuse me, and it is uphill in this direction, and now I'm toward the back. And I'm actually starting to look at the graphics on the right again to where I am to see who's behind me, and they're about 11 seconds behind me. As you can tell, getting dropped in this category is pretty inevitable for me. But at least I want to get dropped with other people so I can have some fun. What I want to do right now is rest. What I need to do is get toward the front to get some buffer. And there's a split up there that you may have seen around the corner. There's 3 people that have taken off, and everyone else is starting to chase them, so we're all lined out. And now I got a little gap in front of me. It looks like I'm filling it, but it's costing me. It's costing me to fill it. And I have that stupid close the gap message above me. I know I need only 3 meters to close the gap, but man, I'm not able to do it. And now we're hitting the roller section with the big stuff. If I can just stay close to a number of riders, then maybe I can survive this. So I'm doing what I can. There's people behind me that are passing me. I'm able to pass this guy, but can't really get away from him. I can't jump on wheels. I can just see the wheels go by me, and I'm almost powerless to do anything about it. So now I have this wheel, and but he may be as bad off as I am right now. I look up the road and they're bunching up, but I'm also looking on the graphics on the right, and they're doing at least as much watts as I am. I'm hoping that they just slow down and then we can crawl our way back up there. But we have about a 3-second gap right now, and that 3-second gap is huge, especially the way I'm feeling. Now, somebody's trying to make a bid, one of those guys that I was with. And so I'm so tired. I'm just on this guy's wheel, and that guy up there, we're either going to catch him or he's going to make it across. But I don't think we're going to make it across. And actually, the group up there is starting to just eke ahead of us, and they're like 4 seconds there. The guy in the yellow who's chasing them all of a sudden just stops. It could be that he just died out, or that he just said, forget this, I'm just going to go off and do something else, or he had a network connection problem. We never saw him again. So now it's just Zong from the United Kingdom and I. And Zong is a 29-year-old, and for those of you that are new to the channel, I am 65, so this guy's like, less than half my age. And then I find out later on, he's like 25 pounds lighter than I am, which may make a difference later on. I'm jumping ahead again to the beginning of the second lap. Now, I had actually made it 3 laps before I got dropped, so that was a win for me. That's the best I've done for quite a while. And we've been chasing, and I've been watching on the upper right-hand corner, that map insert there, that there was somebody up there that was dropped. And so we are now going to make connection with him, and hopefully he'll be working with us. I've also been watching in the graphics on the right that the gap to the next group behind us is like 30 seconds, and that's been growing. So that is not a concern to me. I'm hoping that there are more dropped riders that we can catch, so I have a chance of finishing ahead of them. Now, this guy that we're picking up, I'm with Zong, and now we're picking up Hal, and Hal is from Japan. And I look at his name, and on the far right hand side of his name is 71 years. So I'm thinking, man, this guy's 71 years old and he was with the front group that long. But later on, when I'm putting this video together, I checked his profile and he's actually 19. So I don't know if he's using his dad's account or whatever. The profile picture is of a young guy, so I don't know. But be that as it may, I didn't know that he was a 19-year-old, and he's even lighter than Zong. So this guy's like maybe 35 pounds lighter than I am. I'm jumping ahead again to the beginning of the last lap. It's been hard to get a read on these guys. I can't tell if they're significantly stronger than I am or if they're just patient, just waiting for the end. Regardless, I am making my bid now. So I'm jumping away. I'm at 5.5 watts per kilogram, and I'm trying to hold that. And I'm looking at the graphics to see if I am developing a gap. It looks like I am, at least a 1 second gap to one of them, to Hal, the younger guy. But Zong is still there. I just don't know how far back he is. So I keep on pushing it, and I'm looking at those graphics. All of a sudden, I'm caught and passed by Hal, the 19-year-old, the guy that was back there a second. So these guys got some legs, and I just used some bananas. So I'm hoping that they use some bananas in chasing me. And it looks like that maybe they have. We are still together, and so now I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do and when I'm going to do it. I don't know how important my drafting boost is going to be, my drafting power-up boost is going to be. So I'm using it now to try and get a little extra rest and just hanging on these guys' wheels. Looks like Zong has the same idea, but he's now caught up in the front, and I'm just slow pedaling in the back. Jumping ahead slightly to the start of the cobbles, this is where the fireworks start. So I'm thinking about jumping here, but then all of a sudden Zong jumps, and he jumps to like 12 watts per kilogram. He's got the orange numbers on the side. I'm at 5. I'm trying to jump. I don't think I've ever had any orange numbers. Meanwhile, in the real world, in the lower left-hand corner, my trainer's starting to bounce around. I don't have a smart trainer. I have a regular dumb trainer, and I use my power meter, my power tap power meter, to connect to the Zwift application. Regardless, it looks like I'm catching up to Hal. Now, Zong up there, it's a different story. I'm hoping he's going to just die out and just slow down. We're going to catch him. But the closer we get to the line, the less likely that's going to be happening. Still, for a couple seconds, I think that's a possibility. So now I'm in the front pulling. But looking at the graphics on the right, and then Zong is just killing it, and I'm not. So now we're hitting the roller section, and now my focus is on Hal. I'm actually attacking right now, and he's just staying with me, and I'm just running out of gas. The attacks that I have are not lasting that long, and so now I'm hoping that I can just rest a little bit, maybe on his wheel, and then I can outsprint him at the end. Problem is, he's now attacking. He's doing like 5 plus 7 watts, 8 watts per kilogram. The best I can do is like 5. I'm just not going to be able to come around him. There's the finish. There's Hal. And there's me. It looks like I'm close, but there's no way I can catch him. So I end up around 15th. On Zwift.com, I end up in 11th place. And then looking at the data, there were 3 people that should have been in the A's and 1 that probably didn't sign up for Zwift.com. So now let's talk about drugs.
My channel has been growing. I want you to think about me in this channel as being your ghost of Christmas future. You may be doing things now that could put you in the same position that I'm in, and this channel is all about being in that position and still doing the things that you want to do, at least most of them. Hey cycling community, this is Steve Grusis, the Cycling Greek.
That was the next video that I'm working on, and I wasn't joking about the Ghost of Christmas Future part. What I am going through now is what each of you have the possibility of going through regardless of your age in the future. And my channel talks about how to minimize the possibility of that happening. And if you are on the same or similar path than I am, what you can do to deal with it so that you can keep doing what you want to do. Pretty much, kind of, sort of. So if this is something that interests you, my suggestion is subscribe to my channel, Hit that little bell to get notified whenever I put out a new video. And when you watch that video, always remember these eternal words. Comment, like, subscribe. The Cycling Greek.